Hello, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with Cook. I'm your host, Terrence Cook, and I'm here with
Carla Payne Harrison. I am a candidate for West Mifflin Borough Council.
Let's go. That's what I like to hear, man. This first things first, Carla. It is great to have you here on the podcast, man. It's a blessing and humble, especially knowing a little bit about your journey and how you're trying to make a big impact in the community of West Mifflin. It's beautiful to watch, and I'm thankful, man. I'm thankful. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so first, I'm happy to be here, Terrence. I'm happy to be here. A little bit about myself. I'm a lifetime resident of West Mifflin. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm somebody who has their feet on the ground in West Mifflin. So I've been married for 30 years, and we've got four daughters, one bonus daughter, and we love West Mifflin. We love the community.
I think we all share that great bond with loving the community and always try to enrich it and help make that big impact with the community. So what are some experiences or professional experiences that uniquely qualify you for this position?
I believe that I've got 25 years of community experience, 25 plus years of community experience with my feet on the ground. I have worked in all the communities of West Mifflin. Right now I do a 412 food rescue. I do community housing coordination. I help individuals in the community get things done and connect them with resources that they need. So at any time, it may be the food bank may reach out to me to help neighbors in the community. Other churches may reach out to me to help neighbors in the community. And those are the things that I do. I believe that I am uniquely qualified for this position because I know how to listen to the community. I know what my ear is to the community.
And that's beautiful to hear, man, because, you know, of being a resident of West Mifflin and growing up in it just as much as you have, I feel like we need that voice. I feel like we need someone that's going to listen and we can confide in, you know, and they're going to actually believe in some of the things that we're saying. So what does West Mifflin mean to you personally?
West Mifflin is home. West Mifflin is home. West Mifflin is family. You know, when I ride through the neighborhoods and the communities of West Mifflin, I'm connected to mostly every community in West Mifflin. I've touched somebody in almost every part of the community, and I love it there. I love the idea of West Mifflin. I love what West Mifflin used to be. Right. I love what West Mifflin used to be. If I could tell a quick story, grew up in West Mifflin. I can remember a time, and I think that some people may even be able to go down this memory lane with me as well, where we used to walk to Kennywood. You know, we didn't get rides there. We walked to Kennywood. You know, we stayed at Kennywood until Kennywood closed. You know, back in those days, Kennywood closed at 12 o'clock. You know, wasn't a whole bunch of problems and things. We did that sort of stuff. You know, we would walk to school sometimes, you know, those kinds of things. I am from a time when I went to school when there was a school down Whitaker. It was Whitaker Elementary School. That's how rooted I am in West Mifflin. I'm that rooted. Now it's an apartment building, but back when I was coming up, we walked to school. We walked down to Whitaker Elementary. We were a community. People looked out for each other. People cared about one another. I mean, the love for West Mifflin, when I was a kid, it surpassed color lines. We all went to school together. We all learned together. You know, we all did all those things together, and we cared about each other. That's the West Mifflin that I believe we can come back to.
And I love that because, like, I feel we need that. We need to bring that back at least. I mean, I have some lifelong friends that from West Mifflin, and you know, I like what it brought. You know, I like what it brought. It's genuine. Love is always there, and as you partake on, it's family. And that's what we need, I feel like, in our communities now. What are some issues that you see in West Mifflin now that, in your opinion, we can help fix?
So one of the things that has been happening lately, and it's been in the news and everything, is some of the structures in West Mifflin haven't been taken good care of. We can talk about Century 3 Mall and how the demise of Century 3 Mall.
Yeah.
You think about it, because you're from West Mifflin.
Mm-hmm.
Century 3 Mall was the spot,
It
right?
was
That's
booming.
where you went to. I mean, for everything. Christmas time was unique when Century 3 Mall was up. You go to Century 3 Mall, you shop there. They had all kind of stuff going on there. They would bring West Mifflin school choirs in and the chorus, and they would sing. So to see West Mifflin Century 3 Mall deteriorate the way that it did, it definitely was heartbreaking. I saw it happening. It was a conversation, but you never saw anything happen. Nobody stopped it, and it just kept going down and down and down. And that's one of the issues. And then another one is Montview Heights. The deterioration of the community, the deterioration of the property, the roads, everything going on there. And the people in Montview are our neighbors. They go to school with our kids. Absolutely. Their grandkids go to school with my grandkids. And to see the neighborhood go down the way to the dead is definitely heartbreaking. So that's definitely some of the issues that are going on. Another one of the issues is bringing things into the community, the transparency for the community. If we're going to do something in the community, we need to get the community's input. We need to make sure it's something that they want, it's something that they're going to use. It's not going to be a frivolous thing that we put up there and then not take care of or not use. I want to make sure that everything that comes into the community, the community has a voice on it and an impact.
And most importantly, like you touched on, like Montview Heights. I am a Montview Heights kid as well. I grew up in Montview Heights my whole life. So just to see it, like you said, deteriorate, it definitely brings a tear to your eye, because back in the day, kids used to play football, be outside playing basketball.
Go to the court.
Right. Just enjoying life as a kid. I feel like, we've had people from, in a sense, West Mifflin come on down and enjoy some of the stuff, because that's when the kids were outside playing. Nowadays, kids aren't playing anymore. No. I've seen Montview Heights recently since I've been home, and it's not good.
It's sad. It's a sad situation. The playground, you can't send your kids to the playground. They can't walk to the store. They can't do things. And, it's a hazard. It's a hazard. And nobody, nowhere should have to live like that. So when you think of West Mifflin and our member base and all the people that we have there, I honestly believe that everybody has a right to safe and affordable housing.
Absolutely. So what are some things the borough you think can do with that?
So I know a lot of things are going on right now. I know that because it's privately owned, some private owners, and, the district attorney stepped in and they're prosecuting those folks that decided that Montview wasn't that important to them. And so those things are going on. So right now, there are things in the works. There are definitely things in the works. Now, a lot of fingers can be pointed at who should have did what. But at this point, I honestly believe that we're gonna act in a way where we're saying, okay, we can't get that back. Okay, we can't fix what happened, but going forward, we can make sure that these things never happen again. And when I'm in the borough, when I become a member of borough council, that's exactly what's going to happen. I will not turn a blind eye to things that I know should be taken care of in the community. When I think about my community, I think about communities from 0 to 100. Whether you're 0, whether you're 200, whether you're low income, whether you're the working poor, whatever it is, I believe that your voice should be heard. And I think that when we do not do that, these are the things that happen, like Century 3 Mall and Montview Heights and some of the road issues, those sorts of things. We have to listen to the people who decide to go out and vote for us. Those people hire us, right? So I look at an election as a job. I look at an election as a job interview. Right? You tell people, you introduce who you are, you tell them what it is that you want to do in the community or how you want to help them, and then they hire you when they elect you, right? And your job after that is to continue to work on all the things that you said that you would do for the community. Not sitting in one place, not hiding, but actually having your feet on the ground, going to places where the people are at so that you can hear what they're saying.
Absolutely. I know, I know I'm kind of backpedaling a little bit, but you touched on the Century 3, and at that time it was definitely moving, and a lot of cash flow, a lot of people just being outside, having fun. Like you brought up the Christmas. Personally, that was a huge experience for me, especially being a kid from Montview Heights, not being able to always go to the mall. But it was. I remember the Santa Claus, the trains I used to go
all
around.
All the good stuff.
Oh man, it was definitely, like you said, the choirs. That's when Century 3 was was just massive at that time.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful place to go. It was a beautiful place, and you had pride in it because it was in your community.
Absolutely.
It was in West Mifflin.
Yeah.
Like, when they talked about things, they talked about some of the major landmarks. They talked about Century 3 Mall. They talk about Kennywood Park. They talk about the things that are landmarks. And to see that deteriorate like that, definitely heartbreaking.
Absolutely. What are your stance on property taxes? Do you think that they should increase, decrease, or stay the same?
Now, one of the things that I definitely understand about living in a community is the ups and downs of things. I know that things cost money. I know nothing is free. So if taxes are to be increased, right, we need them increased for a good reason, right? We don't want tax increases. I'm a homeowner in West Mifflin, right? When taxes go up, my mortgage goes up.
Absolutely.
Okay? So I never want to say, hey, you know what? I don't care, what they do, because, this is West Mifflin. What I want them to understand, and what I want everybody to understand, residents, members of West Mifflin, is if it is worth it, then we may get an increase. But if it is not worth it, if it isn't something that the members and the residents of West Mifflin have talked about and have decided that they're interested in, then we shouldn't do it, right? We should not increase taxes if it does not work for the good of the people.
What's your vision on the economic development in West Mifflin?
Economic development is important. So we had a meeting about the community center. It was a little while ago, I think maybe a couple days ago. And one of the people on the panel had talked about this particular thing, how young people are doing a mass exodus out of West Mifflin.
Yeah.
They go to school, they go to college, they never come back, right? So that means those dollars that could have been in West Mifflin are now gone. Economic development is so important because if we put things that attract young people, our younger base in the community, they'll stay in the community. They need a reason to want to stay there, to buy homes there, to raise their families there. And when we put the right economic development things in place, people will stay. People will stay. We have to give them a reason to stay. Now, if they look, or if they come, like you left and came back, you came back to some deterioration. You came back to the death of Century 3 Mall. You came back to seeing roads a little jacked up.
Yeah.
Why would you want to come here and raise your family in that? Because you remember old West Mifflin.
Absolutely.
You remember the beautiful West Mifflin, right?
Mm-hmm.
When things were thriving. That's what we need to go back to. We need to go back to a place where we are very proud of our community, where we're happy to be there, where we want to raise children there. So economic development is really, really important. It's what keeps people there. It's what makes people want to buy homes there.
Absolutely. Because you're right. I wasn't thinking about living in West Mifflin.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't. I mean, I love it. I love the community, but like you said, like the young people are moving away. Especially like a lot of my friends are getting their money in dollars and moving to other communities,
taking their tax dollars to other places. But West Mifflin raised you.
Absolutely.
So West Mifflin raised you, and that's a place where if you really saw the value in it, you would raise your kids there. You would
Absolutely.
buy a home there. You would do those things. And we need to put things in place where that would happen. And people talk about the community center, and there's a lot of pros, there's a lot of cons to it, So if we can, and I'm going to kind of claim it right now. When I become a member of the board, my intention is to have a lot of transparency. Is this community center something that's going to be worthwhile for everybody in the community, right? From 0 to 100, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
low income folks, folks with money, it doesn't matter. What's the good of this thing? What is the good of the community center? Is it going to bring us what we need in order to attract people to the community, right? Those are some of the things I honestly believe, things like a community center and other, bringing other businesses, small businesses, big businesses to West Mifflin. They will keep that base like you in West Mifflin. And when you see that growth, you'll say, wow, I wouldn't mind my kids living there. I wouldn't mind buying a home there. And sometimes when you live in a place and the tax base is a little bit higher, but you have other things going on with it, you don't have a problem with paying a little more taxes if the community is built up the way that is going to help you raise a good family. So I honestly believe that those are some of the strengths I think that I could bring to that board, is really talking about the economic development, talking about keeping the younger generation there, talking about what we can do to make it more attractive, to bring folks who graduate from college back to the community.
And I mean, you kind of touched on this already, which brings me to my next question. How do you plan to attract these new businesses while retaining the old ones?
So, you know what it is? It's reaching out. It's reaching out, right? It's reaching out. We can't be afraid to reach out and say, hey, I see you got that Aldi's. We got a space, right? We have an empty space. You know, how do we bring Aldi's to West Mifflin,
Absolutely.
right? How do we bring other developments to our community by reaching out? Okay. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not on the borough council now, so I don't know what they do or what they've reached out to do. So I don't want to, speak to that. And I'll tell you right now, the people who are on the borough council right now, I voted for them.
Absolutely.
Right? I voted for them. So they work for me at this point, right? So if I reach out to them to ask them questions, I expect to get answers about it. And I think that that's the exact energy I'm going to bring to the council. If you elect me for that seat, I'll be working for you, which means you will be able to reach out to me, which I will be able to tell you why we don't have Aldi's or why we don't have this or what's going on with the economic development parts of the conversation.
I like that. That. So what's your plans on revitalizing certain areas in West Mifflin? Like, I know you spoke on like reaching out, bringing like an Aldi's, but what's your plans on revitalizing like certain areas in West Mifflin, from the sidewalks to like the little, like a Whitaker? Let's take a Whitaker per se. How do you plan on revitalizing a Whitaker?
So you got to find out what's going on with it, right? You have to find out what's going on. What's it going to take? Who owns the property? First of all, we need to make people accountable. If you own a property and it is a property that is not being taken care of, then we need to hold you accountable for that. You know, when I think about some of the properties, I just saw something on Facebook the other day about the road leading up to Century 3 and how they now blocked it off because you can't ride on it.
Yeah, it's rocky.
How do you make somebody or how do you revitalize that street? By making the people who own it responsible for it, right? So those are the things. And anything that the borough is in charge of, then you reach out. You know, I know that the borough really does try hard, right? And they do a wonderful job. I can't tell you, I can't talk enough about the garbage department, the sewage department, or the street department. When I could tell you a quick story about the street department. Sure. I really do want to tout about that. One time I was going from where I live at, I was going over to Riverview Homes, and the roads were a little messed up. And I had saw they were doing the salt trucks. And I got out my car, and I had said to the guy, I said, hey, I'm trying to get up this street, but it hasn't been salted yet. He said, hey, give me a second. Yeah, he got in his car, went up there, salted. He scraped it, then he salted it. That's the type of working together, things that we need in West Mifflin. And I'll tell you that when it comes to the street departments, they do that. So when I think about revitalizing areas, I think about having a conversation. What needs to be revitalized? Who's in charge of it, that sort of thing.
I like that. What can be done to support public spaces and park and recreations?
So, and that's a wonderful question, Terrence. I'm glad you asked that because we are in the process of that right now, of seeing what's going on with that. I know right now out at West Mifflin Community Park. Now, I know we call that Ryan Hackey Playground,
yes,
but the actual name is called West Mifflin Community Park. They're doing a pickleball out there, and they're also doing another playground out there, which is wonderful. And then that also leads to the conversation about the community center. The community center is something that they believe, and it's not anything right now that's in stone. It's still a conversation, right? It's nothing that they've decided to do. They haven't voted on it yet, but what they're talking about is bringing more things like that, more spaces, public spaces, right, where people can go to. Like if the community center is something that the community decides that they want, then they'll be able to have rental spaces in there. They'll be able to have state-of-the-art basketball in there, that sort of stuff. So I honestly believe when you think about those public spaces, that's what I think about. I think about maybe the community center, maybe West Mifflin Community Park, that sort of thing.
I know I just was up West Mifflin Community Park, and I seen some of the renovations going on.
Nice.
I like it. I think a softball field or a baseball field is going to be up there,
and they got
too.
Like a pickleball court, which I'm interested in learning how to do.
Yeah,
right?
Brand new basketball, not hardwood, but nice space for it, nice blue and gold. I liked it. It was pretty. It was pretty dope to watch, especially being gone for 9 years and coming back.
Back to see that. So along with some of the, when you think about some of the things that you're not happy about, you can look at the beauty of West Mifflin. It's a beautiful place.
Absolutely.
It's really a beautiful place. You can go around and see some things, and it's a community to be proud of.
Absolutely. I like that, man. West Mifflin, like I said, I'm still discovering different parts of West Mifflin. I was like, I've been here my whole life almost, and I'm like, yo, hold on, my friends will take me to this little area. I'm like, this is in West Mifflin.
Like, I didn't know that street was there.
I didn't know we had a West Mifflin Hills. I didn't even know that. I'm like, where's West Mifflin Hills?
You got to explore West Mifflin. We got a lot of good things going on, and a lot of wonderful people in West Mifflin that care about West Mifflin. I had been going out, getting my name out there because I'm running for borough council, and I was able to, have my feet on the ground and knock on some doors and talk to some residents of West Mifflin. And when I tell you the love that the residents have for West Mifflin, it's unmatched. They love the community. They love what West Mifflin is and what West Mifflin could be. They really love it. And I love to talk to even the older residents of West Mifflin who know, they talk to me about things that happened 40, 50 years ago, 50 years ago before I was born. And they talked about the love of West Mifflin. And I honestly believe that we need to bring that spark back.
Speaking of spark, I'm glad you said that. What is something that we can do to help support the local schools in West Mifflin?
So West Mifflin schools, I got 8 grandkids in West Mifflin. Well, I won't say 8, I only got 7 of them in there right now. So 7 grandkids in the West Mifflin school district. And I'll tell you something, West Mifflin school district, even when I was coming up, they care about the kids. West Mifflin school district is definitely is making strides. I love the new high school. The high school is like a college campus.
Oh, yeah, basically the whole...
It's like a college campus, and then they slid the middle school in there like that.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely a really nice thing. I know that there's an election for the West Mifflin School Board, and I'm hoping that people will pay attention and that they will vote their conscience, that they will absolutely find out who's running, find out what they stand for, and vote the right people in. We need to absolutely be intentional when we go to the polls.
So what are some programs that help support the youth in different activities in West Mifflin?
So I know that they have a lot of sports programs in West Mifflin, right? They do the basketball, they do all of those sorts of things, but we need more. We absolutely need more. We need more. We need things that they can do, right? So we all know this, right? When there's nothing to do, we get in trouble.
Absolutely.
Right, so we need more things for them to do. I know that West Mifflin is a sports town. I understand that. We're into the basketball, we're into the baseball, the soccer, and all that other kind of stuff. But we also need other things going on in West Mifflin. So I'm interested in exploring what that would be like. I'm interested in hearing the voice of the people to say, these are the things we need for the youth. These are the things I think would help our young people, in their downtime when they're not in school. I think that we should have those conversations with the community.
I think that we should have, this is just putting it out there. I think we should go with the times. And like, for instance, we live in a media-driven atmosphere now.
Yeah.
I think that we should provide a space for people kind of like to let loose. What I mean by let loose is let their creative loose. We don't have a space, I feel, in West Mifflin where people can go and like create a podcast, create different content, just exploring different avenues. I feel like, like I said, that maybe that can be with the community center, people teaching people how to edit, teaching people how to take photos, not a trade per se, but teaching them how to generate $1 and how to market their business. I feel like we don't have like a marketing classes to help kids and, hey, I want to own a business. Okay, well, this is how you can start it, and then here's the marketing behind it. And this is how
wonderful.
Absolutely. Like we should have
absolutely. And I agree with you. And I think that it's important for us to listen to those types of and have those types of conversations, because we do need to keep up with the times. And in order to keep people in our community, to keep people in West Mifflin, those are the sorts of things that we need to bring to it. So definitely a conversation to have with the community.
And one last one. I've always kept this under wraps, but one thing I think West Mifflin should do, maybe if you're elected, we can help put this through. Just how you said, how you want the younger people to come back and revitalize West Mifflin. I think that West Mifflin should have an alumni day. And what I mean by alumni day is it can be during football season, basketball season. But if you own a business and you're from West Mifflin, I say you can come back during homecoming when everyone in the family atmosphere is there, and we all can open up booths. And get our stuff out like that. Yeah. Especially with these young entrepreneurs that we have here. Yeah. I really want to see that through. If we can do it, I want to be able to pitch something like that, because how else can the community feel embraced if let's say Joe Guy has a small ice cream shop that he wants to open, or a small pizza shop. Well, let's embrace them. Yeah. You know, let's bring them up. Like we have enough space to where we can have booth setups and people are, oh, I didn't know you did this.
And that's something that we could do even during a community day, because West Mifflin has a community day. That's a wonderful idea, Terrence, and I'm going to bring it up. I honestly believe that, because by the time I get elected, by the time if we want to do it sooner, I won't be in that seat yet. But I honestly believe it's a conversation that needs to be had. We need to bring our old, the folks who've graduated from West Mifflin, who've gone on to be successful, like you. I know quite a few people who have gone from West Mifflin, have gone to college, right? Who are doing really, really well, and how do we attract them back to West Mifflin, right? That kind of thing would attract them back to West Mifflin. So that's definitely a conversation I'm going to have with somebody.
We have a guy, especially coming from Longview Heights, James Whitner.
Yes.
I love what he's doing with his whole businesses and everything. But like you said, how can we attract a guy like that back? It's powerful in the places he's been in. For instance, how he came and shot a commercial for his shoes and everything in Longview Heights, trying to tell a story, which was beautiful to see, a Longview Heights get a little bit of light like that. How can we attract that person?
And he definitely gave back to the community. And I see a lot of our folks like Tanisha Wright and folks like that giving back to the community. James actually had a Be Social center in Longview Heights. He had somebody there, and they were, doing things in the community and bringing great value to the community. Then these other things happen. So definitely, we have some people who are from West Mifflin who definitely come back and bring back and give back to the community.
Like, what role should the borough play with the residents and families? What role should the borough play between the residents and the seniors in the community?
Our seniors have lived long enough and have earned the right to be respected in the community. Their voices should be heard. I think that if we really want to know where we're going to, we have to know where we come from. And that information is rich. It comes from our seniors. We need to make sure we have a space for them. We need to make sure that they're safe and that they have a space. We also need to make sure that we're not raising taxes so high that our seniors can't stay in their homes. Absolutely. So we need to make sure that when we make decisions with the seniors in mind as well.
What does success look like for you if elected after the end of your term?
So when I'm elected, yes. I believe I'm going to be elected.
You're elected.
When I'm elected. So once I get in the office, it's going to be a lot of learning for me to do, right? I'm never going to be so cocky to believe that I know exactly what to do from day one. I know that there's processes and policies that go with this position, but success looks like a better, brighter West Mifflin. Success looks like transparency with the board. Success looks like, to me, live streamed borough meetings, like those sorts of things. That's what success looks like. Success looks like bringing economic development to West Mifflin. That's what success looks like to me.
When you're elected, where do you see West Mifflin in 5 to 10 years?
I see it booming, right? I see it booming. I see something like another Century 3 Mall coming there, right? I see places like Aldi's setting up shop there, for residents to have other shopping choices, right? I see, I see income-based housing being taken care of. I see that. I see seniors, loving it and wanting to stay there. And I also see our youth coming back to the community to raise their families.
And my last question, why should the voters choose you?
Right. And I have a nice little thing for that, right?
I like that.
Yeah, so I honestly believe that I have so many years of hands-on experience, right? I believe that I have a deep commitment to serving West Mifflin, and I've shown that. I'm not a politician. I'm not somebody who runs in political circles. I'm just a regular person. I'm just a neighbor. I'm just a mother. I'm just a grandmother. I'm just a wife, right? Who knows what it's like to live in a community and to love a community and to want to see that community thrive, right? I am just somebody who loves my community. I really have to. I can't say that enough. the way that I love West Mifflin and the way that I believe that West Mifflin could shine again makes me really want to run, right? And I also believe in the economic development of West Mifflin. I believe we could do so much more. I believe we could do so much more. And I think that once, I have my ear to the community, which I really already do.
You already do.
Once I have my ear to the community, I believe that bringing their voices back to that council to let them know what the people really feel, what the people really, really want, I think that is important. That is paramount to anybody city that's elected to that board. I believe that's the reason why people should vote for me. People should vote for me because I am a different voice for West Mifflin. I am not a career politician. I have never been handed anything, no seat, no anything, right? I will be the first person in my family to be elected to any position. And I honestly believe that now is my time to bring my voice to West Mifflin so that they could hear it, so they can understand what it means to not only be a resident of West Mifflin, to have somebody who's worked hard in West Mifflin, who's brought programming to West Mifflin. I do a 412 food rescue program. I'm a community housing coordinator in West Mifflin. I do these things because I love the community, and my love for the community should be the reason why they vote for me.
One last one. Tell us about this 412 rescue.
So 412 Food Rescue is a program that provides food to neighborhoods. So 412 Food Rescue is a program that I'm actually doing right now in Montview Heights. And so the people up there are economically disadvantaged. And economically disadvantaged people sometimes don't have, get all the food that they need. So 412 Food Rescue is a program. I think they're out of Strip District. I want to say that they are. And they come and they bring so many pounds of food. We unload that food, we divide that food, and we distribute that food to the community. We distribute that food to the community. We do it every second Wednesday of the month. We're there with our feet on the ground, serving the people. We're able to talk to the people. Not only am I doing 412 Food Rescue that day, but I'm also talking to people about any issues that they're having. If they're having problems with their utilities, problems with their delinquent rent, problems with, their units, anything like that, I'm going to talk to them about that day. They have my telephone number. They're able to reach out to me. So it's a face. It's not just somebody kind of behind a curtain saying, this is what's happening in West Mifflin. My feet are on the ground in West Mifflin. I'm talking to the people. I'm interacting with the people, and I'm bringing services to the community that the community needs.
Any last things you want to tell your voters?
So if I were to leave with anything, I'll say this. I want to make people aware that elections have consequences. When we are deliberate about who we vote for, when we find out exactly what it is that we need to put those things need to align with who we vote and who we put in office. When we do not make the right sort of voting decisions, then the entire community suffers for it. We need to make sure that we are deliberate when we go to the polls. Now, I am number 5 on the poll. I am number 5 on the ballot. Okay, you have to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you don't know my name, it's Carla Payne Harrison. I need you to go out and deliberately vote, intentionally vote on May 20th.
I like that. Well, thank you, Carla, for coming and blessing my podcast, man. It's been an honor.
I'm happy to be here.
But I have one last question. I know I said it, but I'm full of surprises. What advice would you give to a person that's in your shoes, to a person that may be trying to be on the up and coming of running for a borough council?
So I didn't know what I was getting into when I first did it, right? I had a lot of people say to me, you should really run. You should really run. And I had to think about it, because they're not working, I do things, and I thought, what would be the difference between what I'm doing now and what I would be doing on the borough council? And it's a big difference. My advice would be to do research. Is it something that you want to do? Is it something that you can put your all into? Can you dedicate yourself to that? Because working for the community takes dedication, right? And I would also say, figure out how you want to run that race, right? I think a good race is a positive race. I think a good race is a race that builds up the community and not breaks it down. You're not going to talk about anything that you think that somebody else should have been doing. You should think about what you're going to do. Okay, what can you bring to that seat? What can you bring to that position? And that's what you need to think about when you think about running. When you think about running for any office, you need to think about what you can bring, what positivity you can bring, and how you can respectfully disagree with things. Right? I can be on that board, or I can be in any political seat, and I can disagree with you and still respect you. And I think that that's the important thing. I think that this election, this one, is going to cross political lines. I don't think it is a Republican thing or a Democrat thing. I think it's a people thing. And I think that the residents of West Mifflin understand that.
Love that, man. I love that. Well, guys, make sure you go out and vote for Carla. It's been a pleasure to have you on this show.
Glad to be here.
And thank you again. And guys, see you later.